This video is about how to prepare for your first fight. And it's not going to be your typical, you're going to do this many runs, you're going to do this many spars, you want to make sure you're going to fuel up on this right before. It's actually pretty different. So I've obviously had this experience having my first fight when I was younger, and I've coached a lot of people who have also recently had their first fight. And there's a reoccurring theme that happens every single time. A lot of people get into boxing and they do it just to have this one fight, something ticked off their bucket list. But this always leads to one specific problem. There's this book, Reality Transurfing, where they talk about having excess importance on a particular situation or object. And this is what I see everyone doing before their first fight. Before their first fight, they literally make it their entire life. They're visualizing this outcome that they desire. They're putting so much emphasis on the fight. They're not sleeping with their missus. They're not going out seeing any friends. They're doing all this crazy shit, all right, for their first fight. And if you're a boxer, you'll know that your first fight is basically just like a stepping stone into the actual sport. It's got nothing to do with, it's not like this big thing that you're looking at that's going to change your life. It's literally going to be like, you have a fight, no one will remember it, and then you just carry on with your life. You might even give up because you feel like you've just accomplished now. Okay, and the more you see it like this, the more you put this excess importance on the fight. Now, in Reality Transurfing, it says when you put excess importance on something, all of that mental focus and the emotion that you feel with that mental focus on that thing gets balanced out by these other forces that are basically going to make the outcome that you want not happen, or work against the outcome not happening. Right, now I know that sounds pretty like pseudoscience, but I guarantee you it will happen if you put too much importance on this first fight you're gonna have. I guarantee that you won't perform that well, okay? Because I've done it myself. Every time I put too much importance on a specific situation or a fight or a spar, or I'm getting hyped up either like emotionally or I'm just overthinking it too much, it massively impacts my performance. And this is why I felt like it's impacted my performance. So you might have heard something called the flow state. I'm gonna make a full-on video about this soon. The flow state is this state that you get into when you're completely present. When you're completely present, that requires you to not be thinking, because thinking is either in the past or in the future. It's never in the now. The only thing that's in the now is your awareness. Okay, and through this awareness and this present moment, you have access to all the skills you've been training through your sparring, through the drills you've been doing, all of this stuff that you've been doing to prepare for the fight. Okay, you get access to that in that present moment. When you're present, you are in the awareness of this present moment, okay? A thought comes into your brain, as they do, non-stop. You recognize that the thoughts come into your brain. You release the thought that's come into your brain. And every time you do that, your nervous system regulates from parasympathetic, which is fight or flight, to sympathetic, which is like rest and digest. You want to be in the rest and digest. When you're in that state, when you're not having all these thoughts that are giving you all these emotions, which are just pulling you out of that sympathetic state and into that parasympathetic state, you get this potential for flow, or you get this sort of access to this flow state. And this flow state is all instinctive action. It's got nothing to do with planning how you're going to land your jab. It's just you throw the jab and it just lands. Okay, I notice if ever I like tap a beat on like my desk or something, and I'm not thinking about tapping the beat, there's just music playing and I just tap a beat, I'll hear it and I was like, damn, that was a really good beat. And I'll try do it again. I'll try to think, right, let me do that again. And I just can't do it because of this blocking of flow through thought and being outside the present moment. That is exactly what you're doing when you're placing excess importance. You're bringing all these emotions, all these plans, all these ideas, all these thoughts about how you're going to win this fight. And then when you're walking up to the ring, you've got all these plans going off in your head. You're not present. And when you're not present, you don't have the ability to have that instinctive action. You don't have the ability to access flow. When you can't access flow, you can't access any of the skills that you've been training in the lead up to this fight. Okay, they almost go out the window as soon as thought thinks about them, and you don't let your body just do it. Okay, you need that instinctive action to be able to perform. And you'll be able to tell when someone isn't present in the ring because they'll tense up like this. Okay, and they'll be thinking, you can almost see it in their body language. They're thinking, they're emotionalizing what they're gonna do. They're not just letting it happen. All right, and that's the lesson I wanted to give you in this video is you've got to just let it happen. All right, don't place all this excess importance on this outcome. Don't have all this attachment to the outcome of the situation. Right? If you've got all this attachment to winning, I'm sorry, but you're literally destroying your ability to win. So this is something I've also learned through the fights I've had, and it's kind of taken me a long time to figure this out. So consider this a fucking cheat code if you're having your first fight or even your first 10 fights. I didn't discover this till had my like 28th fight or something. And then I was like, I get it now. Because it's not, people just say relaxation, but it's not just be relaxed. It's all here. It's all up here. It's got nothing to do with my body, because my body is just a reflection of, it's just a physical expression of what's going on up here. So you've got to sort out what's going on up here. This applies to anyone, okay, but it's going to help people the most that have actually trained the skills and the techniques properly to be able to go into a fight, to be able to use them through this flow state. So I made another video going through the most important thing you can learn, which is the jab, okay? Fixing your lazy jab. It should be linked on the screen now. So now you know how to perform to your best in a fight. Let's do the work behind the scenes and get the technique right for at least the most important weapon, the jab. So go give that a watch. I'll see you there.